Hey, what's up, guys? I am here at the East Texas Arboretum, and I know I said yesterday that I should have no opinion on what's going on, but the fact of the matter is that I do. Let the record show that this has no bearing on the placement of Eye on the County or what we stand for even at all. Our focus is purely to entertain and promote the county as a whole of how awesome it is and how wonderful things are. But unfortunately, things are not always wonderful. In the incident of Jessica Rogers, hearing both sides of the argument, seeing all of the videotapes, I truly believe that both sides are at fault here. It's not just a one-way street. I believe that things could have been handled differently on both fronts. And I sincerely see that both the officer and the assailant, Jessica, were both at fault. And they both recognized that they were at fault. To bring in her parenting skills might be a little low. Guys, don't let that reflect who she is. We've all been there. We've all acted a fool whenever we should have, been stronger. But that's just how it goes. I mean, sometimes we act right, sometimes we don't. We're human. It's inevitable. Things like that are going to happen. To bring in race into the issue, I think whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Mexican, Asian, Chinese, whatever, you do these things because, I mean, it's not a matter of race. Like, if you act like a jerk in front of a cop, 9 times out of 10, the cop is going to be a jerk right back to you. So the fact is that if you comply with what the officer is telling you, 9 times out of 10, he's going to let you go. All you have to do is be respectful. Like, that's my true take on this whole thing, is if she would have talked to the officer and said, let me call my mom, or let me call someone to come and pick up my kids, I'm certain the officer would have complied or would have said something like, ma'am, we will take care of it. We will make sure that your kids are okay. Because they are there to uphold the law, but they don't have to be looked at as the enemy. They're not always the enemy, I mean, whenever you want somebody to come and, rescue you, you're hoping that a cop rolls up just in time. But whenever a cop pulls you over, automatically it clicks over that they're the bad guy. They're out to get you, or they're there to make you look like a fool. But that's not the case. They're doing their job. And if that interferes with what you're doing, then just be respectful. That's all I can say, Every time I've been pulled over, I've been respectful, whether I got a ticket or whether I didn't. Because they have families to go home to. They have wives, they have mothers, they have daughters. They want to be treated the way that they try and treat others. And sometimes it's not always the case. There are bad cops. I mean, let's just face facts. There are bad cops. There's cops that have chips on their shoulders, but there's also citizens that have that as well. So I think if we as a community are going to overcome this, we have to be able to come together and come to an agreement. I believe that if the officer just makes a public apology, she's already made a public apology. If the officer makes a public apology as well, I think all will be right in the world. I mean, who knows? It could be that easy. But for us to call into question her character because of how she reacted, I've seen other people react that way as well. And I'm pretty sure that you've seen other people react that way too. We've got a whole television show that shows people acting like that. Look at Cops. People are acting fools like on there all the time. But one thing remains is that we don't need to let this bring us down as a community. We need to continue to stick together, and we need to continue to grow, because racism is not what it was 50 years ago, even 20 years ago. Racism is not what it was. Like, we're all trying to grow, and we're all trying to be open, and I think the only way to continue to do that is to not race bait, to not say, well, this guy did this because I'm white. You know, I mean, like, it just doesn't hold up the way that it used to. So just understand, we're all trying to grow as a community. We're all trying to grow as a country, and we're all trying to get beyond our past, because the one thing that we have no control over is what has happened in the past. The only thing we have control over is where we go from here. So don't worry about small things that could affect us on a big basis, because there's much bigger things that we need to worry about. We need to worry about, diseases. We need to worry about poverty. Poverty is a big problem, especially here in Henderson County. Look at the work that the Family Peace Project is doing. The meals that are being presented by the East Texas Food Bank, by Meals of Kindness. I mean, we're constantly giving away food to those in need because there is a need for that. Like, your donations don't always have to be to a big national charity. They can go locally as well, because those places that I just mentioned, they could always use volunteers, donations. They could always use extra food. They could always use extra clothing, extra bedding. There's many things that you can do in this community to make it better. But just as a community, we have to come together. We have to be able to overcome this. Mistakes were made on both sides. On both sides. But if we can get past this, we can thrive. And that's what we have to do, is we have to thrive. So take a look at this situation. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. If you do have something nice to say, there's people that I've talked to that know Jessica personally. She is a good person. She made a mistake. She even admitted that she made a mistake. And I'm sure if we could all do this over again, it would be a lot different. But it's 2014. It's time to stop focusing on the color of our skin and focus on the content of the character. Hey, man. Just be strong. Be strong. Let's focus on the solutions, not on the problems. And as always, stay blessed and know we got our eye on the county, because that's what's up.